Hey guys, how you doing? So I went to look at the Prius the other day. Prius is a Prius I don't know. Can somebody please tell me what the plural of Prius is? Prius is. Anyway, so I looked at like 3 or 4 different ones. First I looked at the Prius V. I think it might have been a new one just because that's all they had. And I wasn't that impressed with it. I don't really... The hatch opening was smaller. You couldn't sit in the back comfortably, like you almost be banging your head. And when you put the back seat down, to make the sleeping area, it has this huge gap. I'll put a picture in if I can find it. It has this huge gap, so you definitely have to do some type of build, and I just don't want to have to do that. And to me, it didn't really feel like that big a difference in the amount of room for having to deal with that and the way the hatch opened. So then I looked at a brand new regular Prius, because that's all you could find at the moment. I'm not going to get a new one, but... So he showed me that, and what was strange is the seat didn't lay flat like the used Prius do. It just had a little bit of a ledge on it. I mean, you could probably just with enough padding, you wouldn't feel it. But that was kind of disappointing that they're changing them to not be flat. And the under the trunk storage, it just had the spare tire. And the only place you could store stuff was if you stuck it in the spare tire. It didn't have a separate little compartment. Whereas the old Priuses or used Prius have a nice big storage compartment underneath. It's on top of the spare tire, but underneath the floor of the trunk. So then I looked at a RAV4 because I was also considering like a hybrid SUV to have the clearance and to have the four-wheel drive capability. That seat, it was the passenger seat that you'd have to use the driver's side, which I'm not crazy about using the driver's side to sleep on. I kind of like the other way. And it didn't quite lay flat, a little bit of a hump there. And it doesn't have the climate control like the Prius does. So I wasn't crazy about that. Then he found a 2014 Prius. It had 55,000 miles on it. The cash price was like 13,000 something. We didn't haggle or anything. That was just the asking price. So I looked at that, and in all these vehicles, I haven't even driven any yet. I've just been laying around, laying in the back of them, taking measurements, sitting there in all the different seats to see how it would feel to dress and wash and everything in those areas. So I have to tell you that the regular Prius was awesome. It was perfect. The seat went absolutely totally flat, very comfortable, easily fit the air mattress that I would be putting in there, and the pads and stuff. The driver's side back seat seemed plenty roomy enough to wash up and do everything you needed to do there. And the hatchback opens a lot further back on the roof, so you can hang out sitting in the back, the trunk area, and have like a wide open area. And they actually make tents that go over the back of those too. So, and it has tons of little compartments, on the console and a lower console and 2 glove boxes. Lots of room that I could stick all my little car essential type stuff in there, And I could probably fit, maybe half the amount of my hiking gear. I could probably fit half or 3/4 of it underneath the trunk space. So that's good, because that's what I'm looking for, someplace so I can take all that stuff. Obviously, I'm downsizing all of that. So, and this visit, going to look at them, was all about just seeing how I felt about it in this space. And I have to tell you, I can totally see myself living in a Prius. I can see, I have it all planned out, and I'm going to show you. I have it all planned out how it would work, how I could fit everything. You can't run the automatic refrigerator off the Prius battery. Plugging it into a 12-volt plug, the engine's not going to know when to turn on or off for that. You know, so you have the climate control, but I wouldn't be able to run my Dometic fridge. I mean, that would take up a lot of room anyway, so I'm gonna have to just compromise and eat a little bit differently, and maybe just have a small cooler. I'll show you guys that at some point. So let me show you how I wrote down everything that I want to bring and where I would put it now that I've seen the space and I took measurements. So let me show you what's on my tablet. Okay, so I'm not going to read all this. You can just pause the video and look at it. On the left side I have the items that I need to take. And on the right side I have where I would store them in the Prius now that I've seen what it looks like. Alright, so you can just read all that yourself. And there's the next page. Now I don't have everything itemized, but I have it kind of categorized and in certain containers that I plan on putting it in. Now I know everyone's like, oh, don't use hard-sided containers, use soft-sided. But I don't like the way it looks when there's just a bunch of floppy bags around. So I'm going to use a combination of hard-sided and soft-sided. Just, to me, it's just more homey when the biggest thing to me is I want to look in here and feel at home and feel like it's neat and organized. And then I'll enjoy being in it. Alright, so I did a drawing of the Prius. Let me show you. So this is my drawing of the Prius, and it's pretty bad. Where is Will Burson with his mad drawing skills when you need him, right? So what I did was I got a picture off the internet, just like a, cutaway of the top of the Prius. So, as I have here, things are numbered. So number 1 is the bed. So then I have the bed numbered right here. So there's the bed. Fits in that spot there. Number 2 is this hard-sided suitcase. On Hotel Prius, he recommends that to give you a nice hard surface to use kind of like a desk and for food prep, which makes a lot of sense to me, and I actually found one here at my father's house. So the suitcase would be there. Number 3 would be a little camp chair. Number 4 would be a box of food, like a container. Number 5 would be my small cooler, and number 6 is my butane burner up on its edge, Some of this stuff might have to be stacked on top of each other. I'm not really sure, how it would fit. So then over here, number 7 is the pouches that would have all my hygiene items. Number 8 right there is the toilet bucket. Number 10 is a bag that I would use for clothes, which would be kind of like up with the pillows. If I'm sitting up in bed, I would use it as a pillow and then toss it to the side or put it somewhere else when I'm sleeping. So that basically would be the only thing that I would have to move out of the way in order to go to bed, which is nice and simple. I may even just put it under my legs, because I usually sleep with a pillow under my knees. That rectangle blue dotted line, that is 2 containers that fit. If you look at Hotel Prius, it's a 56 quart container and a 28 quart container, and that would be some storage that would fit under the head of the bed and would also help support the head of the bed in that little gap that's there. Then number 12, that is my EDC bag, so that would always be with me and just has miscellaneous things that I carry with me, and that's where that would go, or it would be with me. And number 9 is different size water containers. Some might have a spigot on it, some would be smart water bottles, smaller, just different sizes, which I'll explain in a later video why I want the different sizes. One might be one of those insulated ones that you might put lemonade in and it has a little spigot. So I think I'd use one like that way it would stay a little bit cooler in the warm weather. So, I know it's kind of messy, hard to tell, but, oh, in the 13 here, this circle, that would I'm hoping my privacy tent would fit under there, because what I would want to do is if I was camping in the woods, or, you know, BLM land or something, would set up my privacy tent and put my toilet in it, and also be able to bathe in it and stuff. So, I think that would work. So I'm thinking that would just, it's kind of flat, but it's big, fit under this the pad at the foot of the bed. You know, it would stick out a little bit. So, because I have too much time on my hands, I wanted to see what it would look like. So not counting the stuff that you can see, I figured this is what it would kind of look like if you were looking in on the vehicle. And I think that looks pretty neat. You know, there's my sleeping bag, there's some pillows and the clothing bag, the different items I just talked about. That's the toilet, the black, my bag, water. So I think I could live in that situation because it just looks very homey and neat. And that's why I like some of the hard-sided containers also. Now, obviously, it's subject to change because I don't have it with me to see if it all fits and how it would fit. If I had to change out this food box for a food bag, that might be something I have to do. Whatever. But so that's what it would look like. I think that would work. And obviously, there's some stuff and I'm forgetting, I'm sure, and I'll have to figure that out. But I think this would work. And I'm not showing the small things that I would have in these console areas and the glove boxes and in storage. So, and this is what I was talking about with the hatches. So say this is the back bumper of the regular Prius, and this is how the hatch opens like that. So you can sit right here and have plenty of headroom. Now the V opened more like that. So there was just a smaller opening. So it just didn't feel as comfortable for like lounging and everything. Alright, well, that is how I think I could fit in the Prius and how it would work for me. I'm going to make some separate videos, I think, about each system and what I would carry. My TV just turned on for no reason. So I'm going to make some separate videos on each system and what I would have in these pouches and in the toilet and all that. I'm not going to buy everything right now, so you'll have to I'll tell you what I do have and then what I would buy to add to it. All right? So feel free to email me and comment or questions or whatever. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.